Hey gang, hope y'all are doing well. Welcome back to the Crucible Chronicles. This is, of course, Collection Survival. I know it's been a hot second, but yeah, things have just been busy. Been busy trying some different stuff. Got a different series going on as well, so I wanted to get that kick started. And just life seems to be busy. That's just how it works, I guess, with two kids. But I'm happy to be back. Happy to be playing some more KeyForge. I will admit one thing that was kind of irking me, maybe not irking me, but was making it kind of difficult to sit down and record was where I wanted to go next with collection survival. So as you may recall, in the last episode, we lost with the first deck we were playing with, and initially I had picked a deck with a house configuration that was, I guess, least common in my collection at least. So I think I only had two of that particular house configuration, which is not necessarily doesn't necessarily mean that much, but it also was three of the houses that I had the least of overall in my whole collection. So let's go ahead and pop on over here really quick. You can see, of course, we had spoilers. Sanctum was banned, which is a little bit unfortunate because definitely one of the it's kind of one of the middle houses there. We were using Mars, Brobnar, and Sanctum, and of those three, it was the highest, highest number of decks. So suffice it to say, I've been kind of thinking through it a little bit, and I know on this channel, and maybe this is obvious, maybe this isn't obvious, but I tend to not try and play the spiciest stuff all the time. I mean, I certainly think I have some very interesting stuff, especially kind of mid-tier decks that I love to play, and I think they're up for the challenge, regardless of if they're playing, maybe an equally yoked deck or something that is significantly stronger. So that's kind of where I tend to stick with my gameplay on the channel, and honestly, even on stream frequently. We're going to take a brief departure from that, and the reason being is like I want to try and give this a good run. This particular collection survival concept. I think it'd be kind of fun to do collection survival and be like, hey, I made it 8 games or whatever, or I made it 10 games before I tapped out and I didn't have anything left in my collection that I can play. I don't know if those are reasonable numbers or if it's more likely to be higher or lower than that. It seems like it could probably be higher, certainly based on the size of the collection. But anyways, so the best way to do it, I think, is going to be to bring a little bit of spice. And I don't think we're necessarily going to be only playing spice from here on out, because eventually we're going to be losing games even with some of my stronger decks. So we'll just be forced to play kind of some other weird house combinations, which I think is the other benefit of this little exercise, if you will. Sort of being forced to play some house combos that you don't normally play. I will say, of course, when Logos gets banned, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt whether that happens first or whether that happens last. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and take a look at my collection here. Sorry, it's probably a little bit small. We're going to go ahead and grab VO Sparkle Flick of the Filthy Heartland. We're essentially throwing any of the plan about picking less used houses or something aside. I'm just picking basically my Archon deck. This is, if I were to play at an event, an unrestricted Archon event, this is the deck that I would play. I think it's probably my best deck. There are other great decks that I have, but I think this is probably the better of all of them. Now, does it lose? Of course it loses. It's not infallible. Does it lose when I play it? Certainly it does. Certainly it does. It's very possible for it to lose. But in my experience, it is really strong, and it does kind of a number of things very well. And we'll kind of talk through that right now. I'm sort of hoping we'll get a couple games at least with Sparkle Flick, just to kind of show it off. It's definitely a fun deck. I think there's different names for this style of deck or archetype. I personally prefer the Make. The Make, I think MAKE which stands for Make Ember Kill Everything, and that's basically what Sparkle Flick does here. We have a very interesting house situation here where we have 3 houses that are very they're very distinct and siloed in what they do. what they do. So if we take a look at this Logos, we've got, we have some killing. Some killing. Actually, there's killing basically in all houses. So that's the one thing that isn't siloed. That we can kill stuff in any house. But we got the double bouncing death quark standardized testing. But aside from that, we have some decent creatures. We have double infomorph, which gives us a little bit of efficiency. We have the double eclectic inquiry, which gives us some efficiency. We have the daughter, which gives us some efficiency. Potentially the Quixos, if they stick around on the board, can give us some efficiency, and research Smoko. So basically, pretty much everything about the Logos house, aside from a little bit of killing, has to do with, card draw, the random archives of Eclectic Inquiry, trying to get card advantage. Now, Shadows. Shadows kill stuff. In this case, it has triple dark waves, so it can kill a good amount of non-mutants. But aside from killing stuff, again, it has sort of a singular purpose. We have double look over there. We have ransack. We have Bow Nithing, Johnny Longfingers, and Double Rad Penny. So this is basically the Ember Control house. The only way to get Ember Control in this deck is to call Shadows. That's just how it works. And then we have lastly Untamed. We've got some good burst here. We have Commune. Unfortunately has the draw icon on it, but still pretty solid first turn card to play. And then we actually have a fertility chant. This fertility chant is enhanced with an ember. So this is a really, really kind of cool meme card. I don't know. It's just a 5 ember card, which you don't see otherwise generally. Certainly it's much more possible with the fertility chant because it starts with 4 ember. And aside from that, we do have a little bit of disruption here. We have the cephaloists, and some artifact control, which is great. Aside from that, we've got like a Ghost Hawk for some more burst. We do have a Key Frog, so it's possible. It is, however unlikely, possible to key cheat on an Untamed turn. It's not super easy, but it can be done. And yeah, that's Sparkle Flick. It's a great deck. It plays pretty well from hand. I do think it's a little bit weak to some heavy control decks, just simply for that reason that I mentioned with the whole siloing of the different aspects of the deck. We've got speed and Logos. We have all the Ember Control and Shadows, and the kind of burst, plus like a little bit of utility in Untamed. And I guess, if we do look at Logos, I think the only Ember pips are like Eclectic on the Eclectic Inquiries. So it really is just kind of efficiency happening in Logos. And I should, one final thing before we hop into the game. There is kind of one way to get Ember Control in the other houses, and that is with Johnny Longfingers. So Johnny Longfingers ends up being pretty strong in this deck, simply because we've got, I think, 9 mutants in these BDQs. Bouncing Death Quarks are really nice for being able to just like pop the Rad Pennies and kill stuff, and then steal stuff because of this mutant creatures. All the mutant creatures have the destroyed steal 1 effect. But yeah, so that is kind of where we're at. We're gonna go hop into the game, but I did just want to obviously give an overview of the deck, but also kind of indicate that I don't intend on the channel moving towards only playing really strong stuff, and it is in a lot of ways an intentional decision that I've made with the channel to not often play stuff like this. But I feel like to give the challenge the best chance, we should pull out some heat, and probably pull out a couple heaters for the next couple decks in the challenge, and then we'll end the challenge seeing how we can manage in kind of the middle of the range of our deck power. But yeah, let's hop into today's game and we'll see how this goes. All right, got ourselves a game here. I feel like I say the same stupid thing every single time we get into a game, but it's just how it is. Then we got Tassina, Colle chez Accetta l'Eternita, Shadows, Starlines, Untamed, Mass Mutation. So this will be interesting. Got the nearly same house situation. Double Seeker Needle. That'll be interesting. And a Johnny Longfingers. No Red Pennies though, so that's interesting. There's that Fangtooth, which I don't know. Maybe I'm okay with that. We're going to be going second here. I didn't also look at the mutant spread. What are we looking at in terms of mutants? Johnny Longfingers, Subtle Auto, Demo Alien, Fandangle, Xenobeast. So only 5. That's actually not too bad. I think we mulligan this. Oh, do not speak English. Okay, well, in that case, I had asked them previously if they would be interested in answering a follow-up question after the game. We got Lost in the Woods. We've got BDQ. Interesting. Well, we could... neither of these are really that great. Let's just do a ransack. Discard. Standardized testing. Play Darkwave. Draw. Classic. Draw, oh, well, there's that. Just commune up to 4. Could be okay. That Maverick Subtle Auto. It's not bad. I don't know if I really want to play this commune, but let's do it. Okay, well, we drew at least another Shadows card, so we can go that route. Alright, well, I guess we're taking a Shadows turn. That's a bummer. We'll play the BDQ, kill that, play out the Infomorph. When I say Shadows, I meant Logos. Got Subdue, Stunner, and up to 5. Alright. Question is, we're going to get... We'll steal 1. We could give away one with this Fertility Chain. We could steal 1 with Look Over There. Play out some more Shadows. Eventually we have to draw into some other stuff. I usually like to get a little bit more of the efficiency first. We could also just let them forward. That way this Bow Knithing has some effect next turn. No, let's do it. Puts us up to 9 as well. Oh, nice. And we drew into some Shadows, which is great. Drew ourselves into some Shadows, which is lovely. So the Demo Alien and the Subtle Auto won't get killed from the Dark Wave. None of these creatures will actually get killed from the Dark Waves. So that's interesting. Hopefully we can get something played. Something played on the board that gets killed. Okay, Xeno Training to capture. Works for me. We do get to forge here. We'll call a Shadow's turn. We are going to kill our Flumph. Flumph, that's fine. Look over here. Steel, do we play the Doom Sigil? Sure, why not? Darkwave, Bow Knithing. Puts us up to there. Oh, bummer. And there's the Johnny. All right, steals 1 off that. It's okay. We do get a little bit of efficiency here. I sort of wonder if we're just going to get like Logos cards in the archives off of this Eclectic Inquiry, which will definitely be a bummer, but that's okay. I think it is time to call Logos once more. Remove that, play out the Smoko, play out the Daughter, Eclectic, which gets us, ooh, nice, 2 Untamed cards. So pretty happy with that. General Order 24. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that. I think we just take a Shadow's turn here. So if we tempting offer the Xenobeast, then they're going to have to call Shadows. The alternative would be... Actually, I kind of like that. The problem is they're going to be able to, when they call Shadows, they'll be able to, basically these red pennies won't get, if they play it right, these red pennies are going to get destroyed before, or they'll use the destroyed effect to shuffle them back in before Johnny Longfinger's destroyed effect. Either way, I think this is a pretty good Shadow's turn. We're not going to pick up our archives. We'll go. We will tempting offer. Yeah, sure. Sure, why not? Make it so they have to call shadows. And we'll play out Johnny Longfinger's Rad Penny. Rad Penny? Call that good. It's a pretty solid general order 24 situation there. Not sure if that was necessarily a great play for them. Sadly, we can't quite get to check here on a subsequent turn, right? Because we need... Oh, I guess we will steal one. We will steal one. So I think they need to, yeah, they need to get this in order correctly. We'll steal one, like, without a doubt from Johnny Longfingers. If they can manage to take us down another Ember, then I don't think we can close the game out. Because assuming we forge for 6, we would have this rapid evolution for 7. All right, we got the concession there. So not sure if maybe they didn't have an out there. I mean, presumably we were going to forge. We're going to forge. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, we were certainly going to forge and maybe steal one. They, I guess, could have thrown down like Johnny Longfingers or something. I guess I'm looking at the other Ember control options. Maybe Bow. Bow could have pulled us down one. I mean, of course, they also couldn't have known possibly what was in our hand. So I think did we see both Xeno trainings or just one? So one Xeno training. So yeah, I don't necessarily know if they were fully out of gas, or if it was just kind of the writing on was on the wall and that was enough for them. But hey. That's also sort of how Sparkle Flick works. I feel like we got a little bit of an awkward draw there. I think I do tend to prefer to maybe lead with some of the Logos efficiency stuff, and then try and close out the game with the Untamed, and do a bunch of stalling and stealing with the with shadows in between there. Now we weren't really able to make that happen in the order I would have liked, but Sparkle Flick, it's just a very potent deck in my experience, so it's also not surprising that it could pull off a win, yeah, even when it's not kind of pulling things in the order that I think I would like to normally see. But yeah, so happy we at least got one win with Sparkle Flick. I'll be back later this week, and we'll be taking Sparkle Flick out for another spin. It really is, on top of the fact it's just a very special deck to me. The fact that it's also the only Sparkle Flick in the entire world makes it all that more special. You have that name recognition, one of a kind. I guess every deck's one of a kind, but at least part of the name is one of a kind. Anyways, that's it from me for today. I will catch you all later this week.